When you are looking to print your images, sometimes the vast array of paper stocks can just be mind-boggling. From extremely textured and weighty matte to shiny and smooth gloss, and all of the other many options in between. So today we are talking about what type of paper you should choose when you are printing your images. Now, at the most basic level, there are really just three types of paper: a glossy, a matte, and lustre, which sits somewhere as a halfway house in between the two. And those are the three options that we're going to cover today. And by doing that, hopefully we're going to be able to bring down the vast array of paper stocks and make it a much more manageable choice for you. Now, most of you will be familiar with glossy prints. Gloss paper is by far and away the most popular printing choice for everyday printing. Most convenience printers will offer this as their default option, and that is because the ink is absorbed really quickly and therefore is dry, ready for you to take away. Plus, due to this, it works really well for edge-to-edge printing, as the ink doesn't have time to expand within the paper as it's already dried. Glossy offers deep blacks, really vibrant colors, and good contrast and sharpness too, which makes it sound like a perfect choice for photography. And again, that lends into why it is a popular choice for many. But of course, it does come with a couple of downsides. Glossy has a shiny, highly reflective, smooth surface, which really does discount it as an option if you are planning to frame and display your prints anywhere where light hits. Plus, its surface tends to attract grease, grime, dust. If you ever hold a glossy print in the wrong manner, you will end up with fingerprints, thumb marks on your image surface. So this option is really best for images that are going to sit within a portfolio folder, or that are going to sit within a photo album, or as a print option for photo books, where you can choose where to display them out of that direct light. So at the other end of the scale, there is matte. Now, matte paper offers an almost traditional art quality to your prints. Many matte papers come with a textured finish, which can accentuate that artistic quality. And because of the way that matte disperses the inks during printing and drying processes, it can almost end up with a really artistic, painterly watercolor look to your image. Matte papers are far less susceptible, once dry, to showing fingerprints and picking up grease, grime, and dust. They're not reflective, and so when you're framing and displaying on walls, that's a much sought after quality. But there are, however, some downsides to matte as well. Due to the slow absorption process, matte paper will take at least 24 hours to dry fully. 36 really is best if you're gonna put that behind some glass and frame it. Plus, due to the dispersion and because of that slow drying process of the inks, that disperses, and therefore edge-to-edge printing is not recommended, and most high-quality photo labs will not do edge-to-edge printing on matte paper. So do speak to your photo lab about the desired finished image size versus the paper size that you would need to purchase in order to get to that image size. Again, because of the way that the ink dries and it's absorbed and it disperses slightly, you do lose some sharpness, and with matte paper you will lose contrast as well. Blacks are not represented as deeply as at the glossy end of the scale. But for, let's say, landscape options which have those pastel colours from sunrise or sunset, matte can prove the perfect medium for getting those across, especially when framing and hanging. So next up, we've got lustre. So what does lustre offer? Well, first of all, I should mention that lustre goes by many different names depending on your photo lab, depending on the paper manufacturer. You may hear it go by the name of pearl, silk, satin, semi-gloss, semi-matte, and there's a few others as well. But in main, they are known as Lustre Papers. And Lustre Papers have a surface somewhere in between glossy and matte. It has a slight texture rather than the smooth finish of glossy, and whilst being more reflective than matte, is far less reflective than glossy paper. And this adds up to a really vibrant paper with excellent range, really deep blacks and great whites. So get good contrast from Lustre Papers. You also get excellent colour reproduction, really good sharpness and great fine detail, and that little bit of texture that will add to the look of your print. So Lustre Paper has the ability to print excellent images without that glare that you get from glossy, but with better sharpness and contrast than matte. So again, if you are hanging on the wall or showing this in sunlight and you have really deep blacks or high contrasty images that you want to print, Lustre could be the option for you. So choose glossy for high contrast, really vibrant images where reflections are not going to be an issue, such as within a photo album or in a portfolio where you can pull them out in non-direct light. Choose matte for that artistic look and feel for images lower in contrast, where watercolor, pastel style colors are to be desired, and you are likely to hang this in a frame where sunlight will hit it at some point during the day. And choose Lustre for high contrast images where deep blacks and good sharpness is required, but it is less reflective than glossy, so can be hung in a frame and have some light hitting it. So I hope this is a useful starting point in your search for the perfect paper for your images. I'd be really grateful if you made it this far, if you can hit that like button down below. You can also check out this video appearing on screen now, which goes further into the look and feel of each paper and how the colours are represented versus what you see on your processing screen. And it takes a look at the Barita paper finish too. I've been Dave, this has been Let's Click Photography, and from me, for now, ciao.